In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the story of the assassin named Perotto Calderon, who I feel like is another one of those assassins that not many people know about. From the title, you can probably quickly get the idea that this is going to be a Romeo and Juliet type of story, which from the top of my head has happened before in the series, with of course Altair and Maria Thorpe, as well as Arno and Elise. Before I get into the story, I just want to say that almost 93% of my viewers are not subscribed, so if you want to see more Assassin's Creed content, then please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like on the video, as it does help out a lot. Anyway, with that said, let's begin. Perotto was trained from a young age to join the Assassin Brotherhood. His initiation followed tradition. He recited the creed, received the brand upon his left ring finger, and completed a leap of faith. As he matured into a skilled and seasoned assassin, Perotto was tasked with mentoring a young recruit, Francesco Viccellio. Over time, he came to regard the boy almost as a son. Though Francesco's frailty and perfectionist nature often tested his patience, Perotto taught him with care and came to admire his wisdom beyond his years. By 1498, Perotto served as a courier for the Borgia family, using his position to secretly monitor Templar activity within Rome. He gathered intelligence by discreetly reading and at times altering the messages entrusted to him, as well as by eavesdropping on conversations between Rodrigo Borgia, Grand Master of the Italian Templars, and reigning Pope Alexander VI, as well as his son Cesare, Captain General of the Papal armies. Through them, Perotto uncovered plots of executions and deceit, all of which he relayed to the Brotherhood through his apprentice Francesco. During his service, Perotto was also tasked with delivering letters to Rodrigo's only daughter, Lucrezia, who at the time was between marriages and residing at the San Sisto convent. Witnessing her tears over the messages she received and hearing Rodrigo speak of marrying her off like a possession, Perotto's pity for her grew, and in time, that pity deepened into love. To win Lucrezia's favour, Perotto began bringing her gifts, often trinkets taken from his assassination targets, or items originally intended for the Pope himself. In time, the two began taking walks together within the convent grounds. Lucrezia would ask him about his exploits as a courier, and their conversations often turned playful, each trying to outdo the other with teasing and scandalous humour. Through these visits, Perotto grew close to Giulia, Lucrezia's chambermaid, who became both confidant and advisor. She shared with him Lucrezia's favourite foods and gifts, and took it upon herself to refine his manners, constantly fussing over his posture and scolding him to stand tall and stop slinking about like some shady murderer. Despite the growing affection between them, Perotto and Lucrezia were forced to keep their relationship discreet. In time, however, their bond deepened into intimacy, and one night of passion left Lucrezia with child. Yet it was never certain whether the child's father was Perotto or her brother Cesare. A son was eventually born, but the infant was malformed, and the physician who examined him declared that he would not live beyond a few days. Unable to conceal the secret of the child, Perotto was discovered, brutally beaten and thrown into prison. With the aid of Giulia, who risked her life to smuggle him a set of lockpicking tools, he managed to escape his cell. Despite his injuries, Perotto retrieved his infant son from Giulia's brother and fled the city, knowing he would never see Lucrezia again. Rodrigo Borgia soon learned of his escape and dispatched soldiers to pursue him. Perotto ambushed them on the outskirts of Florence, striking with deadly precision. His bow fouled nearly all of them, leaving few survivors to tell the tale. Driven by desperation, Perotto made his way to Agnadello, believing that only the Shroud of Eden, an artifact guarded by his own order, could save his dying son. Yet upon nearing the town, he found his path blocked by his fellow assassins, sworn protectors of the relic. Saddened but resolute, he fought them, overcoming each in turn, though it pained him deeply to do so. At last, he reached the home of his friend and keeper of the shroud, Rinaldo Vittori. There he found the artifact and pleaded for it to heal his child. At first, the shroud did nothing, but as Perotto pressed his hands upon it in desperation, he felt his own life force begin to drain away, as though passing it on to his son. When the glow faded, the boy stirred, seemingly restored, though Perotto could not be certain. He replaced the shroud in its box and departed, weakened but hopeful. His recklessness, however, had sealed his fate. The Brotherhood, deeming him a traitor, sent a team to eliminate him, led by his former apprentice, Francesco Viccellio. Upon reaching Agnadello, they discovered the fallen assassins and traced Perotto's trail through the townsfolk. A silent battle ensued, a deadly exchange of arrows in the mist. One by one, Perotto struck down his brothers, sparing none who approached too closely. Yet when Francesco raised his bow, Perotto could not bring himself to strike. Surrounded at last, he accepted his fate. Justice was swift for the assassin who had broken the creed he once swore to uphold. So that is the story of Perotto Calderon, and honestly, I think after knowing these events that happen involving Lucrezia, it completely changes the dynamic of her character. It makes her way more complex and layered than we see in Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, as none of this is even highlighted. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.